Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Aaron, aka A-aron, and I just want to say welcome into the show, and I appreciate you for tuning in. Now, normally it would be a very happy Sunday, but today is just not the case. As we all know, Bills Mafia suffered a devastating loss last night to the Denver Broncos in overtime 30 to 33. Now, I've been seeing a lot of Bills fans on social media complaining about the refs in these games. But me as a fan of football, and yes, I am a diehard Buffalo Bills fan from Buffalo, entire family born and raised in Buffalo. This was more than just the referees. Yes, there were some plays in overtime that could have went one way or the other, but in my opinion, the plays leading up to overtime, way before overtime, we made a lot of crucial mistakes in which sent that game into overtime. We should have won that game in regulation. Let's be real about it. We had 5 turnovers as an offense during this game. Our defense played amazing. Off those 5 turnovers that we had, Denver scored 16 points. We gave Denver 16 points off turnovers in this game. We lost by 3. So I'm just going to go back and just walk you through what led to this overtime loss, because it was not the referees. Now, Bills fans, we have a bad taste in our mouth from poor refereeing in previous playoff appearances. We all know what happened in multiple playoff games against the Kansas City Chiefs, but we're not going to go there right now. But just know a lot of Bills fans thinks that the Chiefs, not the Chiefs, well, yes, the Chiefs, but that referees are out to get us, when that's just not the case. Now, 5 turnovers as an offense. Josh Allen accounted for 4 of those. James Cook, he started this thing off in the second quarter, the start of the second quarter. We were moving the ball well on this Denver defense. Denver has a top 3 defense in the league. Moving the ball well, had the running game going. James Cook comes around the left side, has a very good run, and Singletary, the linebacker for the Denver Broncos, just lays a clean, nice hit on James Cook. Like I said, it was a clean hit. It was a legal hit. Knocks James Cook on his ass, and James Cook fumbles. Can't really blame James Cook for that. You have to hold on to the ball as a running back. You learn that from, grade school football. But James Cook isn't built like that. He's not a big bruising running back. He's built more like a wide receiver. So, I can understand you fumble that football in that situation. You get a big hit laid on you like that. But nonetheless, he did fumble. Can't do that in the NFL, especially in a playoff game. And Denver drove the ball down the field after that fumble and scored 7 points. Now, like I said earlier, defense played well, but we were put in a lot of bad situations with all the turnovers. So 7 points off the first turnover, fumble. Okay, we live to see another day. Game isn't over at that point. Now, let's fast forward to the end of the second quarter going into halftime. And this to me was the silliest fumble that I've seen all season, much less the silliest fumble that cannot happen in this situation. We have the ball with about 13 seconds, have to drive the entire length of the field if we want to score points. Normally, teams in this situation, they don't try to go and force this down the field. They just take a knee, go into halftime, live to see another day. But no, Bills fans, let's try to get this thing down the field in 13 seconds. Doesn't work like that. Now, we drop back to pass. We try to get a deep ball down the field, and it wasn't there. Josh Allen made a great decision in pulling that thing down, scrambling up the middle, and getting a few yards. He didn't get much, but he did get a positive run play down the field. And if you get tackled and get down, now we have 3 seconds left, and of course, then you nail it out. But to call that play in the first place was beyond me. But then it comes down to Josh Allen. We all saw it. Josh Allen gets tackled by a Broncos defender, and he tries to fight for extra yardage. And in doing so, he fumbles the football. He not only fumbles it, but it's a silly fumble. He basically tosses it on the field. We're all up in arms. We all saw it. A very uncalled for play call to begin with, and then turnover at that on top of it. Now, that kept Denver in field goal range because we were deep on our side of the field, and Denver gets a free 3 points going into the half. They were in field goal range with 3 seconds left, and they have the ball right there. We lost the game by 3. We give them 3 points right there in that situation. That cannot happen. That turnover was completely on Josh Allen. Completely on Josh Allen. And people want to say this and that. Well, it was the refs, but they don't go back to that play. We lost by 3. That game shouldn't been over in regulation with us winning. But no, we want to give them a free 3 points going into halftime. Okay, now let's fast forward directly after halftime. Coming out of the half, we get the ball because we kicked off. We're backed up once again. Have to drive down the entire length of the field. Call a pass play. Okay, that's fine. But Khalil Shakir, he missed a crucial chip on Nick Bonitto, edge rusher for the Denver Broncos, one of the greatest edge rushers in football. Missed a chip, was supposed to chip on Nick Bonitto and go off into his route. He missed the chip, but wasn't even close, which then in turn threw off the timing of left tackle Deion Dawkins. Nick Bonitto blows right past both of them, and now he's on a collision course to Josh Allen's blind side. Now, Josh Allen, I think he felt the pressure because Josh Allen was rolling out to his right, and he started speeding up, feeling the pressure coming that way. But Nick Bonitto was already full steam, and he got the easy sack fumble on Josh Allen. Now, Josh Allen, I believe Josh Allen knows better. He knows that you have to protect the football in that situation because edge rushers are taught to come up from behind and go straight for the ball in that situation. Now, you can't blame Josh Allen for the blocking, but like I said, I believe that he felt that pressure coming. You got to get down, protect the football at all costs in that situation, especially backed up into your own end zone like that. Denver, they get the ball back off the fumble, and they're already in field goal range in the red zone. Defense came out, played well again, stopped Denver from scoring 7. But they did get 3 points. Not a free 3 points like it was coming out before the half, but nonetheless, you gave them another 3 points. Now you're talking about 6 points within a span of a couple of minutes of game time. We lost by 3. See what I mean? It's not just refereeing. Now, coming back down, later in that third quarter, it was like 5 minutes to go. We get an interception on Bo Nix. They were driving a little bit. We get the interception on Bo Nix. Great interception by the defensive lineman in that situation. Now we have the ball in plus territory. Getting ready to score. Good. We should come out with at least 3 points this possession. We need about 10, 15 yards to get in field goal range. Josh Allen drops back to pass, throws a deep ball to Curtis Samuel. Curtis Samuel got open on that play, but Josh Allen underthrew him by about 10 yards. Go back and look at the replay. Curtis Samuel had the defender beat, and he had another safety coming from the other side, but he was beat as well. And the safety that was on the backside of Curtis Samuel just jumps the route and intercepts the ball and gets a good return off the interception. It was a bad interception by Josh Allen. He severely underthrew the receiver. That ball should have been deeper into the end zone. No, deep into the end zone because it was well short of it. It was just severely underthrown. Now, the defense came back out once again, bad field position, and had to defend it, but they forced a punt by the Denver Broncos in that situation. Defense played extremely well this game. Didn't come out with any points, but like I said, Denver didn't come out with any points, but we should have at least gotten 3 out of that possession. We lost by 3. The game was sent to overtime. Now, the last interception is the one that everybody's up in arms about. Josh Allen throws a deep ball to Brandon Cooks, which I don't know why we're continuing to force these deep balls down the field with our smaller receivers, but hey, he was open. Go back and look at the play. Brandon Cooks was open on that play. He could have walked in for the touchdown if the ball was just put out a little bit further. Josh Allen once again underthrew a deep ball on a receiver that was wide open. And this was in overtime. People are questioning the interception that was called when it looked like Brandon Cooks caught it and was down by contact with sole possession of the football. But then it was a weird sequence where, the defender fell on top of him. He basically rolled over him and took the ball from Brandon Cooks, and they called it an interception. It was a bang-bang play in real time, but when you slowed it down, Brandon Cooks' knee was down, and it looked like he had it, but also the defender's hands was on the ball, and he took it from him when they rolled over. However they wanted to call it, that ball should have been on the money from Josh Allen, but it wasn't. So now you give the ball back to the Denver Broncos in overtime, and then this is when it started to get really ugly on this next drive for the Denver Broncos. Taron Johnson, the defender that we have, got beat by Cortland Sutton. Not necessarily got beat. Cortland Sutton had a step on him, and they got into some hand fighting on a deep ball up the left side. Taron Johnson, in real time, no. You got to keep that flag in your pocket if you're the referee. You'd have to. But let's not forget, there were 2 defensive flags on that same play. It wasn't just the one on Taron Johnson. Joey Bosa also got a roughing the passer call on the same play. Well after Bo Nix released that ball was already towards Cortland Sutton, and Joey Bosa knocked Bo Nix on his ass. He did. Go back and look at the play. Everybody's talking about the bad pass interference call, but forget to mention that Bosa roughed up Bo Nix, and you know you can't do that in the league. They're calling that flag 99.9% of the time on every other quarterback, no matter who it is. Not just against the Buffalo Bills. If it would have been the other way around, a Broncos defender hitting Josh Allen like that, they would have threw the flag as well. It was that blatant. So even if you keep your flag in your pocket for the pass interference, you still give them the first down off the roughing the passer. Nobody wants to talk about the roughing the passer. And then a couple plays later, the Tre'Davion White pass interference on Marvin Mims. Marvin Mims beat Trey White to the end zone. He did. This was the second time that Marvin Mims beat a defender toward the end zone. Bo Nix saw it and he threw it to him. Trey White made a great recovery coming back to the ball, but he got to Marvin Mims a little too early. He did. Slow it down in replay. Everybody's seeing these things in real time, and it looks like 50-50 in real time. You can keep your flag in your pocket. But when you look at it again in replay, it was pass interference. Trey White got there very early. Marvin Mims was coming over his left shoulder, getting ready to make the catch. Trey White comes down, and he basically just pulls down on his left side. He does. When you slow it down, and we all know they got the walk-off field goal after that. They were already in field goal range before that pass interference call, but that put them right there, and they were able to win the football game. Like I said earlier, you shouldn't have been in position to give those refs those calls. You shouldn't have even been in overtime. A lot of those careless, boneheaded plays we had earlier in the game, throughout the game, from the first to the fourth quarter, we should have won that game in regulation, and we should have won it by a large margin because we gave it to them 5 times, which resulted in 16 points for the Denver Broncos. They won by 3 in overtime. Can't stress that enough. And a lot of those fall on Josh Allen. They do. He's the savior from the Buffalo Bills, the best player we've had probably ever. But you can't rid him of the blame for these losses. You cannot. All the other quarterbacks take blame. When you guys watch Lamar Jackson, when you guys watch Jalen Hurts, Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Brock Purdy, when you guys watch these quarterbacks have multiple turnovers in big games and they lose these games, you guys solely blame those losses on those quarterbacks. But when it's our guy, Josh Allen, we go to the refs. You got to stop doing that. We have to stop doing that. This one was not on the refs. We shouldn't have been in overtime. We should have won this game in the fourth quarter. And the second quarter fumble that Josh Allen had, never seen it before in my life. And you as football fans have never seen anything like that conspire in the NFL, much less the Buffalo Bills team. Cannot happen. You're not going to win any football game with 5 turnovers on the road in the divisional round of the playoffs against a defense that good. It's not going to happen. Something has to change in Buffalo. Not the quarterback. Josh Allen is there to stay. He's still a top 3 quarterback in the NFL. You're not going to get rid of Josh Allen and find somebody better. It's not going to happen. He's a rare quarterback, a generational talent. You don't get rid of him. But something has to shake up in Buffalo. It's been multiple years falling short of the playoffs. This was the year we were supposed to do it. No Patrick Mahomes, no Lamar Jackson, no Joe Burrow. We have the best quarterback in the league in these playoffs. And once we don't even make the AFC Championship game, much less the Super Bowl. That was it coming into these playoffs. We have no friction coming into these playoffs. We have a gauntlet of defenses, but we played well against these defenses. We played well last night, minus the turnovers. The defense played an extremely good game. Hats off to you guys. The offense played well, minus the turnovers. But we gave it to them. We gave them that game. So something has to shake up. I don't know if it's the play calling, Joe Brady, Sean McDermott's a good coach, but is he the right fit? A lot of people are questioning that. And how many more years do you give him? He's had multiple opportunities to win big games in the playoffs, and he hasn't. And this was the easiest, not the easiest, because winning the NFL game is not easy, but this was the path of least resistance this season, with none of those big quarterbacks being in. All you have to game plan against big-time defenses. This was the year to do it. Like, nobody's game planning against C.J. Stroud and who are the other? Bo Nix and these quarterbacks that were in these playoffs, that are still in these playoffs. People are scared of Josh Allen. Everybody else, you're not really scared of. And we fall short in the divisional round, don't even make it to the AFC Championship. And now next week, we have to watch an AFC Championship game with Jared Stidham calling the shots. So good luck with that, Broncos fans. Let's see who you got to go up against. And right now, the Patriots are playing the Houston Texans. I hope the Texans come out with a win in this game and go, beat up on that Jared Stidham next week, the Houston Texans. So don't want the Patriots to win anyway. So that's all I have to say, you guys. This game was not on the. Stop blaming the refs as a fan base. It makes us look weak because the refs aren't the excuse. This happens to any other team. If any other team comes out and has a 5 turnover game, you guys are like, you guys stink on offense. You can't turn the ball over that much and get a win. So you have to keep it a fair playing field, even if it's your team. So appreciate you guys for tuning in. Had to get that spill off for a little bit. See you guys next week. Peace out.